Hey everyone, I am back with another video. I was in the mood for biscuits and gravy, so that's what I'm making today. This is some delicious comfort food that I was in the mood for. And so I try to make meals that everyone can eat. I have a family with mixed diets. There's vegan, my kids, my husband eat fish, nobody eats cheese. So it's kind of a mixed bag. But what I was doing was I was making several different meals per night, and I just ended up not eating because who wants to do that? So those are the type of meals that I make. If you want to know how to make this, keep watching. It was really good. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start making our biscuits. So before we start, just excuse all the noise. It's cooking, it's household noises, all of that. Just excuse the noise. I'm gonna speak loud enough so you can hear me. But we have our almond flour, and we're using that because it's grain-free and gluten-free. It has great fiber in there, has higher amount of protein than white flour, so we're using that. 2 cups of almond flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. We're mixing that up for our biscuit recipe. That easy, that quick. And now we're spooning it on. Oh, and also the 2 eggs. If you want to make it vegan, you can use your flax egg to make it vegan. Okay? So now we're spooning it onto the parchment paper, getting it ready to go into the oven. I just have a regular tablespoon, and scooping it out. Biscuits don't have to be perfect because we're making this meal. This is a weeknight, and we're getting it together so we can eat and move on with the evening. So here we go. 8, I put them in the oven. They're getting ready. While that's baking, we have our veggies that we're gonna cook, that we're gonna cut up. Look how colorful they are. I like to cook with color. So we dice those up, slice those up, cut those up, and we're going to put them in the pan. I'm starting with the red pepper because they're going to take the longest to cook. And I left those in it for just a few minutes, and then I put the rest of the veggies in the pan. And I have some coconut oil in there. You can use your oil of choice. Meanwhile, our biscuits are ready. They're nice and golden brown. And I would say they took about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes to cook on 350. And so I smelled them, so I knew they were ready. That's how I cook. If I smell it, then they're ready. So I'm just brushing these with some vegan ghee. You can brush them with butter or regular oil. It's totally up to you. I got this from Trader Joe's. It's a combination of avocado and coconut oil with some other things in there, seasonings in there. I'm just brushing on top, getting a nice shine to them, and letting them sit because they're ready. We're done with that. We're gonna go back to our veggies and see how they're doing. So now we're seasoning them just with basic seasoning, garlic, salt and pepper, maybe some onion powder, seasoning those down. I'm cooking these veggies without a lid because I don't want them to get soggy. I like my veggies to have still a little bit of crunch when they're cooked. And so I leave the lid off, especially for this one. If you want them more, softer, then you can put the lid on. But I left them off. Look how colorful they are. They're browning now. And just mixing those up and getting them nice and tender. Like I said, still some life in them. All right, so now they're ready. We're gonna add the broth because we're gonna make our gravy right here. I added about a cup to a cup and a half of broth. And I went back and I added some more. So even 2 cups is fine. It depends on how much gravy you want to make versus vegetables. I had more vegetables in here than gravy. So you can definitely add more liquid if you want more gravy than veggies. And so this is how we thicken up the gravy. I'm adding chickpea flour. This is 1/4 cup of chickpea flour to the veggies and the broth. And this is going to thicken it up. We're going to stir that up. It's on a low to medium flame, a little more on the lower side because we don't want it to stick. And that's thickening up for our gravy. I love the colors. The red pepper, the zucchini, the mushrooms. Now we're gonna add some coconut milk. This is gonna thicken it up even more. It's gonna make it nice and saucy. It's gonna really make it gravy. All right, so it's non-sweetened coconut milk. And we're gonna stir that in for our gravy. You can taste it now. You can see if you want to add more seasoning here. It was pretty good, so I'm just gonna keep stirring. Like I said, if you want more gravy, add more liquid, add more broth, add more of the milk. And so I let that cook for just a little bit longer and it's done. Here's our biscuits. I just wanted you to see this close up. The biscuits, they're nice and light and airy. Cut that open so you can see how it looks inside. Putting that in the bowl. And we're gonna put our veggies and gravy right on top. And this was really, really quick. It did not take long. Like I said, the biscuits took about 20 minutes in the oven. You saw how quick it was to make them. I cut up my veggies, put those in the pan, cook those down, use the broth, the flour, and the milk, and that's done. So you can make this anytime for dinner, for lunch, on the weekends, during the week, doesn't matter. It's an easy meal to make for you or for your family. And this is just the base. You could add chicken in there if you want. You could add fish in there. You could add beef, whatever other meat you want. But this is just the biscuits and gravy. But you're gonna have those veggies in there, and it's a more healthy recipe that you're making than just white biscuits and flour, and you have your veggies in there. So sky's the limit. This is our biscuits and gravy. Thanks for watching. Thank you, subscribers. I appreciate you. Keep watching. More videos to come.